Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday. We have a fun day of sports tonight and even during the day with UFC, a beast of a UFC card tonight, or today in Abu Dhabi. Have NBA, baseball, college football, lots of sports, lots of possibilities to win some money. Let's get it done. It's been a bit of a struggle so far in the NBA season, looking to kind of break through. As soon as we get the first win, I think we'll be able to kind of get on a roll. But last night, just off by one or two players, kept us away from the money. Had some good picks, had some guys that needed like some pivots there. With instead of going with Oubre, could have went with Porter, Michael Porter, that is. Like those things probably kept us from the money. But move on to today. That's what NBA DFS is. It's a grind for sure. You have every day. The next day is to get right back at it. I'll have a football video out as well. So I want to say thank you for 15,000 subscribers. It's been a journey for 5+ years. Appreciate that. Let's keep it going. Move on to 16K. You can hit the like button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe. And let's get it done. Make some money. No more fooling around. Point guard picks today. We have a couple of teams on back-to-backs. So we could see teams being a little bit more cautious with their minutes, maybe sitting them more in between rotations. But like Luka, better than Ja Morant, even though Ja Morant went off last night. But still, Luka got a couple of days of rest, whereas Ja Morant just played last night. He played over 30 minutes. So both are good plays, but usually Luka should be more expensive than Ja Morant. Especially if Brooks is back for the Grizzlies, he's going to take a good amount of usage away. 9K range, Donovan Mitchell looks pretty appealing because there is no Garland for tonight, maybe another game or two. But he's going to move over to the point guard spot, so he could get some more assist opportunities. Did shoot pretty well in the first game and played well overall with 51 fantasy points. SGA doesn't get an easy matchup going into Denver, but he's just such a good player that he's going to be in play in tournaments for sure. I mean, every single day, just with the triple-double upside that he can give you at times. I like probably Mitchell the most, then SGA, then Fox would be the third guy in the 9K range. Sub 9K would be like Drew Holiday to bounce back. Just he's going to get opportunities, he's going to get usage without Chris Middleton, but just wasn't able to capitalize on that. Against the Sixers, couldn't buy any baskets. Just 2 of 15, 13% for shooting. Much better spot to not only shoot better, but it's a better pace matchup. It's a team that turns the ball over a lot more, so we know Holiday's great with that sort of stuff. And then I like Halliburton more than Van Fleet going into Miami, also on a back-to-back. Halliburton's also on a back-to-back himself, but he gets a better matchup against the Pistons at home. We saw him only play 27 minutes, but he still was very productive with 51 fantasy points last night. Sub $8,000, Kevin Porter Jr. was fine. I mean, 6 of 16, didn't shoot that well, put up 31. Probably wanted a little bit better production, didn't have any defensive stats there. You can possibly go back to him against Milwaukee, but a little bit scary, just a possibility for them to maybe get blown out against the Bucks, but I still think he's a reasonable option. The one guy I like a lot is going to be Tyler Hero. Put him at point guard or shooting guard, but he's really benefited with the extra minutes starting, with probably playing with more confidence now that he's starting, and with that new contract. He's playing free and easy. He's getting it done, rebounding. Couple assists here and there, some defensive stats, 2 steals, 2 blocks in each game. Well, in one of the 2 games. And the matchup is not terrible against Toronto. So we'll see. So far in 2 games, Toronto's just given up 107 points, but that's definitely not a big enough sample size. And probably matched up against, maybe they put Trent on him. Hopefully OG is on like Jimmy Butler. Make Hero's night a little bit easier. Well, we know he's going to shoot a lot. He's going to compete with Butler for being taking the most shots on the team on a nightly basis. We know Kawhi Leonard is out, and John Wall is out today, so Reggie Jackson looks pretty appealing, I'd say, at 57. We have Smart, 55, looks fine as well. And then more value picks would be like a Derek White, possibly at 42. Over at the shooting guard, Paul George, without Kawhi, will get more usage when he's out there. They were pretty cautious with Leonard's minutes in the first game. Don't have to worry about that tonight because he's already been ruled out. But George, he's fine at 93. Possibly maybe like Mitchell a little bit better for just 100 less without Garland there. And we know Levine is back, so that's going to make DeRozan and Vooch look a little bit less appealing. And then I also really like Halliburton at 8K. Only played 27 minutes for some reason. Possibly because they were down big against the Spurs, and then in the fourth quarter they put up 50 points. But so it looked a lot closer than it was for much of the game. But it could also be that they're on a back-to-back, want to be cautious with his minutes. He did have 4 fouls as well, but easy double-double for him in those 27 minutes. Other picks at shooting guard would be Jalen Green. He shot really well in the second game. Desmond Bane at 65. He's been putting up 30-plus fantasy points, and shooting really poorly. Imagine if he made 40% of his shots here. He'd be looking at close to 45, 50 fantasy points. So even though it's a back-to-back, I still think he looks good against the Mavs. Brooks, keep an eye on if he plays or not. If he doesn't, then you're going to look to Bane, looks even better. And then John Conchar looks like another really good value play, just like he was last night if there is no Dylan Brooks. So keep an eye on that news. Hopefully we'll get that 8 o'clock game, so hopefully we'll get that before the first game tips off. Moving over to small forward. Pay-ups are not that interested in the pay-ups at this position. I think there's some other ones, like power forward we'll get to. Some value picks here would be like a Karis LeVert, a Michael Porter Jr. LeVert looks pretty appealing because he's going to get more usage definitely without Garland for the whole game. He's starting at small forward. He played 35 minutes for them in the first game. Just had an okay game, 10, 7, and 5, but only 2 of 7 from the floor. Also didn't have any defensive stats. So he's going to be able to contribute in all categories. Price tag is definitely appealing. I like Michael Porter Jr. as well, unless they decide to rest him on a back-to-back. He was in foul trouble last night, but he still was very productive. 53, Harrison Barnes is a guy in play. We also know Keegan Murray is going to make his debut tonight for the Kings, so he's going to get opportunities. He's going to take minutes away from guys. He's still like a GPP sort of play, I'd say, on the first game. Haven't seen him play yet in the NBA in a regular season game. And once again, Conchar is a value, possibly. And we'll see. Like the Clippers still have a number of guys off the bench that can soak up those minutes with no Wall and Leonard. But there are also going to be a little bit more appealing options for them. We'll get to one that I really like at center. Over at power forward, I love Giannis as a pay-up. He gets the best matchup out of all the pay-up guys against Houston. We'll play super fast. We saw Ja Morant and the Grizzlies just be able to do whatever they wanted against Houston in the paint, especially in the second half after they got down early. And Giannis, there's nobody to slow him down on the Rockets. Like Sengun's going to foul out if he tries to do anything against Giannis, and Jabari Smith is not ready yet. So expect 65, 70 plus from Giannis tonight. Other picks at power forward would be like a Mobley at $6,200. Possibly looking at like a Portis or Horford if you wanted to. Bogdanovich is cheap as well at 54. Aldama, if he continues to start, which probably will, until Jaren Jackson returns. And then Marcus Morris Sr. looks solid with the extra minutes that he should get today without Leonard and Wall. Over at center, you have Jokic here as well on a back-to-back coming off of a triple-double last night. But for that reason, I still like Giannis the most. He's not coming off of a back-to-back. I like Giannis, then I like Luka, then I like Jokic if I had to rank them. Just because center also has some good values below 7K with like a Mobley at 62. I like Zubats a lot at 58. He was pretty low owned in that first game, and he ended up going off. They don't really have a backup center with Hartenstein on the Knicks now, so unless they want to go small with like a Covington at the 5. Zubats, if he's going to continue to play 30-plus minutes a night, that was his main concern last year, was he'd play like 20, 25, and then they give Hartenstein like 23 to whatever the rest of the minutes where they split those center minutes. Whereas this year, if it's just going to be Zubats for the majority of them, then at 58 against the Kings, against Sabonis, he should destroy that matchup. And then we even have Sengun if he starts. Even if he comes off the bench, he's still valuable. I think they probably will start him against a big center that likes to shoot threes like Brook Lopez. He matches it well there. Also a guy that will stretch the floor. Did miss 6 free throws last night, so hopefully can bounce back from that. Kept him away from 53 fantasy points, almost a 10x return last night. And I wouldn't be shocked if Steven Silas decides to start him tonight, so you can double stack center if you want to do something like that. But that's the starting 5 for today. Tyler Hero, Halliburton, LeVert, Giannis, and Zubats, at least for this morning. Post updates on Twitter if we get any. But that's it for DK. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, point guard picks. Jalen Suggs will probably miss for the Magic tonight after he left rolling his ankle, so could see Cole Anthony look a little bit better, but the matchup is not that easy against the Celtics. So guys above the expensive pay-ups at point guard, you have Morant almost a K less than Luka today. on FanDuel than it's a lot closer on DraftKings by $300. Still like Luka a little bit more, but I wouldn't mind if you wanted to get to Ja Morant instead. Like Morant plus more than SGA, just tougher matchup going into Denver. You have other guys that are very cheap in the 8K range with Donovan Mitchell compared to his DraftKings salary, as well as Jaren Fox, and both of those guys look pretty appealing. Halliburton's in the mix as well. Probably like Mitchell the most and Halliburton than Fox. Cade gets a good matchup against the Pacers. He's been fine, just struggling a little bit with the shot. But out of all of them, I still like Holiday the most. His price tag on FanDuel is excellent at $76. Unlike DraftKings, where it went up by $700, FanDuel's came down by $1,200. So I want to capitalize on that, given how good of a matchup it is against Houston. Van Fleet, 71 is very cheap for him. Giddey's cheap at 68. Green, you can play him at shooting guard if you wanted to. And then value picks would be Jamal Murray. He's only 54. He only played like 24 minutes in the first 25 minutes. But even if he plays like 25 or 28, this price tag is cheap enough to consider definitely him. And then like Reggie Jackson at 5K, not having a couple of guys there in John Wall and Kawhi Leonard today. Over at shooting guard, Luka Doncic definitely at 10.8 if you can try to get to him. He's obviously a great play today. Halliburton looks good at 82. Once again, though, I like the 6K range a bit with like Josh Giddey, Bane, depending on if he's playing without Brooks. But stick with Tyler Hero on both sides. Love the price tag. He's done great. Wouldn't expect anything less from a guy that's going to shoot close to 20 times a game, if not more than 20, on a nightly basis. And then you have LeVert at 56, looks really appealing. Murray, once again, if Brooks does play, is only 54. You see more minutes tonight for like a Norman Powell, so at 49, he's going to work his way into some lineups. Small forward, you can get to Giannis here, but you can also get to him at power forward. Banchero at 76. His price tag quickly rose on FanDuel. Started off at like 6K in the first game, and then 2 monster games definitely going to bring his price up. I like some guys cheaper than him, though, like maybe an OG and Scotty Barnes, but their price have also come up, and they're going into Miami on a back-to-back. If you're looking at the 6K range, you have 3 guys right here that look really good. Karis LeVert, Michael Porter would be the best 2, and then you have Buddy Hield at 57. Well, I love LeVert, and then even you can get to Conchar, depending on the news, of Dylan Brooks, and you can get to like a Chetty is 4K on both sides, I believe. Yep, 4K for Chetty. Power forward is where I'll plug in Giannis against a terrible Houston team. You have Jokic. He also gets a good matchup against the Thunder, but just like Giannis, if I had to pick between the two. Siakam went absolutely nuclear last night with the triple-double. He's 86, not the easiest matchup against Miami, so I'll probably pass on that game. At least a lot of the players from that game. Other picks would be Jabari Smith's price came up a little bit, of like Michael Porter Jr., 55. Keegan Murray at 52 if you want to take a shot, but like Sengun is super affordable at 5K. That would be a tremendous play. Aldama is only 46, so he's also going to be a great play. Should continue to start, you'd expect. And then last but not least, over at center, this is where you can get to cheap-wise, get to like Zubats. He's more expensive than he is on DraftKings at 66, but if he's going to play over 30 minutes, he gives you block opportunities, double-double with ease. You have Sengun you can play as well. You can also throw him in at power forward if you wanted to. We're still waiting on some news, but this is what I like on FanDuel for the top 5 from the starting 5 for today's 8-game slate. So thank you for watching. Best of luck. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday. Stay tuned for the NFL video out shortly, and I will see you all next time.